Hello, hello everyone. How are you out there in Facebook world? This is Ella and it is time for the Mahogany Bronze Hour. How's everyone on this Thursday evening? I hope everybody's doing great. I hope your week is going well. May not be going as you planned, but you know how I feel about that. May not be going as you planned, but it is part of the plan. Hello, April. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hi, sis. How are you? Thank you so much for tuning in. Kaleda, thank all of you guys for tuning in. And y'all on time, too. I just love it. That's what I'm talking about. Hi, Alice. Hi, Laquana. Thank you all for tuning into the Mahogany Bronze Hour, PIMP, Facebook TV. I'm so excited on this Thursday night. We have a lot to cover tonight. Quite a few things going on. It's been a couple of weeks since I've seen you guys, right? Tell me you guys miss me. Girls just want to hear that. Do you miss me? But, you know, I've been just so busy, so it's kind of getting harder to come on every week. But I miss you guys when I'm not here. I talk about you. Isn't that right, sis? But I'm just so excited that you guys tuned in to the Mahogany Bronze Hour. Now, before I get started, you know, I always start my show by giving my thank yous to people because I just really believe that it's important to tell people thank you that have been there, that have done things that deserve your praise and your honor. And I do appreciate so many people. Hi, Teresa. I miss you too, Kaleda. I'm so proud of you, dear. I am just so proud of you. Just love you. Hi, Brenda. Thank you for tuning in. I'm so excited to see you tonight. Hi, Herman. Thank you for tuning in to the Mahogany Bronze Hour. Now, let me start out with my thank yous. This past week, we had a challenge, and it was a turkey and ham challenge because, of course, we're feeding 300 families in Monroe County. So we obviously need some meat, right? Now, Red and White's going to obviously donate some chicken and stuff like that like they did last year. But ham and turkey we definitely need. So I did a challenge. I put it out there that anyone who gave, we had 5 turkeys and 5 hams that we needed, they would get Torn 2, the download version of my book. So people did answer that. So I am very excited because now we have our 5 turkeys and our 5 hams for the event. Yay! So I want to thank Frank Jones. He's the one that actually purchased all of our hams. Hi, Flo. Hi, Gracie. Hi, Teresa. Thank you. Hi, Ophelia. Thank all of you guys for tuning in to the Mahogany Bronze Hour on this Thursday evening. Frank Jones, he took care of all of our hams. Was that not incredible? Thank you so much, Frank. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Jennifer Tucker Howard jumped in and got one of the turkeys. Miss T. Mosley jumped in and got one of the turkeys. And then Flo Mason came in and took care of the other 3 turkeys. So we got our 5 turkeys and our 5 hams. So thank you guys so much. I hope you're enjoying the book. I do appreciate that so much that you guys stepped up to the plate and took care of our families. It means everything to myself as well as our team. We are very excited that now we don't have to worry about the turkeys and the hams. Okay, so thank you guys so very much for that. Also, I want to give a very special thank you to Ronnie and Sonia. You guys are always awesome when I come home and you make sure sisters got plenty to eat. And we had a good time the other night, you know, honoring Skinny. You know, I just believe in giving people their flowers while they're here. And we didn't give Skinny any flowers, but we gave him a lot of fun. We had a great time just thanking him because he is such, I don't know, those of you that know Skinny, but he is such an awesome young man. He just gives his all without asking anything. You know, he does it God's way. He doesn't want recognition. He doesn't want anything for it. He just does it out of the goodness of his heart. And we just wanted to find a way to say thank you. So we had a little get together at the Boom Boom Room and we just had a great time. So Ronnie and Sonia, thank you guys for that. Felicia Peoples. Felicia is my niece. And I just want to thank her because she did an excellent job at the car wash. I didn't talk about the car wash last time, but I want to talk about the car wash was a success. My niece just jumped in and fried all that fish. I mean, she just said, y'all just sit down. I got it. So we were very excited. So thank you so much. Felicia is also part of our planning committee. Hi, Douglas. You made it. So I'm glad that you figured it out and you joined us. Thank you so much for tuning into the Mahogany Bronze. And Florence, of course, she's always going over and beyond the call of duty for the feeding. Thank you so much. Florence is also doing her own little fundraiser, independent of everything that we're doing to raise money for this worthy cause. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I speak on behalf of our entire team. We appreciate that so much. Thank you, thank you. Hi, Tamika. Hi, Myrtle. Thank you all for tuning in to the Mahogany Bronze Hour tonight. Then I want to talk about Jennifer. Thank you so much, Jennifer. You know, we send our condolences to you again on the loss of your dad. I'm so glad that we were able to be there for you. That's what family does. You know, we have to stick together. Hi, LaShandra. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, you know, I just want to still show you some love, dear, and thank you for being a part of feeding the families in the planning community. So thank you so much. And Skinny, of course. And then the other ladies that are on our planning committee, Rita Carmichael, Della White, Leela Tunstall, and Regina Johnson has joined the party now. Hi, Ernestine. How are you, dear? So good to see you. So it's growing and we're just so excited. Now this week also we had some additions to Feeding the Families. Coach Hayes, the coach at Monroe County High School that coaches the basketball team. Not only is the basketball team returning, these guys, they are so awesome. They have been with us from the beginning. They were there in 2014. They were there last year, and they're returning this year with us to help feed 300 families and to assist us. But not only is the team going to volunteer and help do whatever we need, but Coach Hayes is also going to be a part of the program, and he's going to speak to our young people about how to be a champion. Isn't that awesome? So we're very excited about that. Also, thank you to Miss Irvin, who is the sponsor for the cheerleaders at Monroe County High School. You know, I'm a cheerleader till I die, baby. Well, she is also going to bring her girls, and they're going to be a part again this year as well. So it's just cranking up, guys. We are very excited over in Camp Feed 300 Families. We're working very hard every day. And, of course, my sis, my cousin, my friend, this woman means everything to me. Ann Walden Sneas. I just realized that I was saying her name incorrectly. I was calling it Cineas, and it's actually Cineas. So my phone just wanted to act up right now. But anyway, yeah, she has been a very big help for me this week. We have had to do quite a bit of stuff this week, guys. As you know, with something like this, that it takes, there's a lot of phone calls, there's a lot of planning, there's a lot of trips that we have to go back and forth to Monroeville. So I just want to thank you so much for being there, making all those phone calls behind the scenes for us. Ann is a very behind the scenes person with a lot of what we're doing. You know, you may see the thing happen, but she's definitely the force behind it, of course, with God as well. But I just want to thank you, sis. I love you. I appreciate everything, because when you guys are asleep and resting in your bed, this woman is still working for me, because I don't ever sleep. So, you know, she's up when I'm up. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much, dear. I really, really do appreciate that. And also, I want to give a very special shout out to Jackie McKinley. She is one of the managers over at Country Inn in Monroeville. And I just want to say thank you, dear, because they made me and Ann stay so comfortable this past week when I was there. And I just believe in just thanking people when they do that. I mean, she went over and beyond. Their whole team did. They went over and beyond the call of duty to make sure that we were comfortable. So I just want to say thank you so much for that. I really appreciate all of those things. Now, coming up on the show tonight, we're going to talk about what's new in Monroeville, what's going on up there. You know, we haven't talked a lot about what's going on and anything new, but we're going to talk about some new things in Monroeville. We're going to talk about the video on my page. I did say that I was going to address that because it was about an economic boycott, and it seemed to get a lot of people's attention and a lot of opinion. So I thought, why not address it tonight on the show? I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the comments I received, and then you'll get to hear what I think about that video as well. Then we're also going to talk about, on the show tonight, for the first time, you're going to get to hear April Tucker's story, hers and Willie's story about how they feel that their civil rights have been violated in Monroe County. And I really want you guys right now to share this video to bring other people in, because some of you may be dealing with some of this and you need to hear their story so that we can team up and you can know that you could fight as well. But they're very unhappy with the situation that's going on in Monroe County, and we're going to talk about it tonight right here on Facebook Live with the Mahogany Bronze Hour, so you definitely want to stay tuned for that. And then we're going to get a brand new Mahogany Motivational Moment. Don't you get one every week? You're going to get another one this week. It's no exception. So we're going to get another one this week. But this week's is going to be a little different. It's going to be about black on black crime. It's going to kind of start opening up your mind to think, you know, because at some point for it to change, we got to figure out how it started, right? So we're going to get a little bit of that tonight. Now, let me give you guys some updates. Applications. The applications for Feeding 300 Families, they're out there. We are expanding it and putting it because we want to make sure that we don't miss anyone. They're in the churches. I guarantee you, whatever church you're at, Leela has made sure that that church has received the application. So check with your church. We have them at what used to be Green Tree, that's now Eagle Point. We actually have the applications at Rockwood. We actually have the applications floating around at Camilla's place. We have them at the library, they're at the high school, and they're at the Head Start. So we want to make sure, and of course they're right here on Facebook. All you got to do is inbox me or anyone on my team, and you can have the application just like that. If you, for whatever reason, can't get to the application, just do whatever you have to do to make sure that you get on the list, okay? I have the list. All of the applications are with me. All of that information is confidential, but I need you guys to fill it out. If you know people that need to be fed, please find a way to get it to them, or at least let me know and I'll follow up with them. But we want to make sure that we take care of our families in Monroe County, because that's what it's all about. This feeding has nothing to do with Women at Work International. It has nothing to do with the people involved. It's all about doing His will. Okay, this is something that God wants, and this is something that He's blessing every day. So we need you guys. You know, if you want to be on the list, please. It doesn't take anything. If you want to eat, you're on the list. That's just how easy it is. Okay, but it's only 300 families. So if you want to be on the list, we're like a little bit halfway there. So we definitely want to make sure that we don't miss anyone. Okay, and plus a lot of the applications are at mental health, Southwest Mental Health also. So they're everywhere. Everyone has an application. You just need one. Just don't be afraid to reach out to me or someone on our team to get an application. Okay, there's no reason you should be sitting home the day before Thanksgiving hungry, because we're going to have all that good food. Now, so that's one thing. That's an update. Now for the t-shirts, we need everyone. Go ahead, please, guys. You know, we want to do this thing right. We want to make sure that the shirts are ordered in time. They're going to be ordered on November 11th. So by November 10th, I need to know your size. For all the volunteers, you get the shirts for a discounted price. You get them for $10 if you're volunteering. If you're not volunteering, you just want a shirt, you can get them for $15. You don't have to be in Monroeville to support this cause to get a shirt. You could be in Timbuktu, and we'll get you a shirt, okay? But they are $15, all right? And you could just actually go onto the website and go ahead and pay for your shirt. Just let me know what size. I just need to at least know what size you need when I make the order. But we are making that order on the 11th. After the 11th, that's it. So make sure that my team or myself has your size so that we can make sure to get your shirt. Okay? Is that all good? All right, perfect. Now, moving right along, community service for our youth. A lot of young people are going to come on board this year, just like last year. We had quite a bit of young people that got involved with the feeding last year, and this year is no exception. But we want to let you know that you will get a community service hour letter. So just check with Della. Make sure that you guys, if you're volunteering, you're checking in with Della White. I don't want everybody to send me an inbox, because that's why we have people, you know, in charge of different things this year, because it's growing and I don't want to miss it. So make sure you reach out to Della Marie White. She's on Facebook. And she will make sure that you're on our volunteer list, and she'll make sure you have the size, but make sure you register with her. Whether you inbox her, whether you go to the website, whatever you do, make sure she has your name, because that is the list we're working from when we start calling people to start meeting with us a couple days before the event, okay? So let's do things in order so that it can be a success, okay? I appreciate that love from you guys. Thank you. Now, new additions. Oh, we talked about that already. I talked about Coach Hayes, that he's coming on board with us. Now, those of you that are helping out by making something, I want to make sure that you know to bring your food to the community house on November 23rd. That's the day of the event at 10 a.m. Okay? So if you're baking cakes, dressing, green beans, macaroni cheese, anything that you're doing, bring it that day. Don't worry about it being warm. We have a big kitchen there at the community house. We have a team of people that's going to already take care of all of that there. You just get it there. So please make sure to put on your calendar to remember to make it. But don't worry. We're going to be calling between myself or Leela. We're going to be calling you to make sure that you bake the things that you've agreed to make. So we still have room. We still need some more dressing. We still need some mac and cheese. We still need stuff. So you guys, you know, feeling like you want to cook, you know, let a sister know so we can put you on the list. But the menu is dressing, green beans, macaroni cheese, candied yams, and of course rolls and desserts and stuff like that. So, and I put a list out this week of different things that we still need for the event. So please check that list out and checked out something on there that you could bring and just let us know. Okay, we appreciate that. Love you, love you, love you. Some of the things that we really, really need, though, guys, we need a videographer, photographer. We need a screen projector and the screen. That's very important. Those items are very important for the program and different things that we want to do. We had a videographer, we had a photographer, but it seems like, you know, things come up. That's to be expected. No love lost whatsoever. We just move on and we need to find someone else, okay? So if you know someone that would be willing to donate their time to take pictures for us, please, please, please inbox me and let me know. Even if we have to do a small fee or something like that, whatever, just so we can capture our moments that day. It's very important, okay? So now, what's going on new in Monroe? Of course, coming up, NAACP, the weekend, I think the first weekend in November. Don't quote me on the date because I have still yet to confirm that with General Betts, but NAACP is getting active, guys. They're getting reactivated in Monroe County, and they need you to join, okay? Now, when they do have the meeting, it's going to be over at Penn's Funeral Home. That is where the meeting will be. But it's coming up, and it's very important, you know, for the NAACP to get reactivated in Monroe because, you know, it needs to be active. We need to be a voice in Monroe County. There needs to be one, and it needs to be one that's effective. So for that to happen, you guys have to get involved, okay? We don't want to wait till something happens big, and now we want to get angry and war it out on Facebook. No, let's war it out in the courtroom. Let's war it out the way it needs to be, where it's going to make a difference, okay? So get involved, NAACP. That's coming up, but I will put the date out there. But they are reactivating, and it's going to be at the Penn's Funeral Home. But I'll get back with you about the date. Okay, that's one of the things that's coming up. I hear that you guys have a new police chief, an interim police chief. Horn, Reverend Horn, has been put into that position. So I just pray the best for you guys in the meantime, that he's there until they get the real one, or if he's going to stay there, whatever. This is a time to pray, guys, and pray that God will bring it all together to work out for our good, so that, you could get some results there. Because, it doesn't matter to put someone in a position if they weren't called or they're not, motivated to make a difference. I remember way early when I started doing Facebook Live, I said, you got to be more interested in people that are concerned more about a difference than making $1. Okay, so just remember that. Not saying he is, but so y'all words in my mouth. What I'm saying is that you definitely want to make sure that you guys are getting what you deserve to have in Monroe County. Okay, be a voice. Stand up for what you want, and don't stop until you get it. All right, that's one of the things that's new. Now let's go ahead and talk about the video that was on my page. Okay, there was a video on my page, and it was about this guy. He has a weird name. I have his name written down somewhere. Dr. something. Tumby or something like that. But anyway, go to my page and see it. But he was answering a question. They asked him, do you think that an economic boycott could work right now in this country? He said an economic boycott, because what the guy was asking is, do you think it will work? We don't have any black businesses to shop at and stuff like that, to just stop going there and just start going to black businesses. So he said an economic boycott is absolutely powerful. It would be a powerful move. And that's what we talked about a couple of weeks here on this show. But what he did say is that it won't work. He doesn't think it will work in this country now because we don't have a level of commitment that we need to make something like that work. He even went on to say that if Martin Luther King was here in this country now, he would not accomplish what he did back then, because this is a different type of black person that we're dealing with in this country now. And, of course, that got a lot of comments, because people felt like the guy was being crazy or being outrageous, or, he was just really saying what he felt. He just felt like it's just not, there's no commitment. He even talked about the boycott, and he said, listen, they did 381 days, and this is fact. 381 days, all the black people decided we're not going to ride the bus in Montgomery. Okay, we're not going to put our money in those tin cans, and we're not riding the bus for 381 days, guys. That's over a year. They did that, walking, catching, carpooling, whatever they had to do to not spend their money with the public transportation. And they were a success simply because they stood together and they lasted a long time to get this to work. Okay, so he was comparing that to now, and he's like, that stuff wouldn't work now because you don't have the same kind of people. Now, there were some of you that responded to my question when I said, tell me what you think, because I want to address that. And I want to thank you guys so much for doing that. LaShondra, Mildred, Rodney, Ramsey, and Hattie, you guys, I appreciate you for being honest and bold enough to say exactly how you felt, because a lot of people don't do that. They just kind of hide behind what everybody else says. I don't know why. There's nothing wrong with having an opinion, okay? That's why we become educated, so that we can eventually speak from that level at some point. So it's okay to have an opinion. It's okay to share it, and support it, as long as you can support it. Don't just say stuff just to be saying it, but support it. But anyway, so I appreciate these guys for giving us their opinion. Now, let's talk a little bit about what they said. LaShondra said that, she said, we're dealing with a different mindset now, Ella. This is not the same type of thing that we've dealt with before. You got people now, they either don't get it or they just don't care. They're content with no change. That's what LaShondra said. And Mildred agreed with her and said, I agree, with that. We do need to change our mindsets. And remember, guys, we talked about mindsets. I mean, I may have compared it in the mind of an elephant, but whatever the case may be, you got the point, okay? The mindset. Pay attention. All right. Now, Rodney says the overall commitment is not there. He agreed with the doctor. He said the same thing. It's just not there. He said, as a people, we have developed no love, no trust, and no belief in each other. So I asked him, why do you think that is? Why do you think that we've gotten to that point? He said he feels because it was a strategic plan of our oppressor to mentally kidnap our worth and self-value by way of man-made religious beliefs. Pay attention, guys, because somebody just got offended when I said religious beliefs. Listen to what he said. He said that it was a strategic plan of our oppressor to mentally kidnap our worth and self-value by way of man-made religious beliefs. Now, we talked about this last week with Nat Turner and how that was used to control the slaves, okay? So when they saw that worked, they kind of started using it. And they like, whatever works to keep these slaves under control, we're going to do that. So, I mean, he's not too far off, all right? So, remember, the scripture they used back when Nat Turner, slaves, obey your masters, they made it work for them. Come on. So, that was what that was about. So, why do you think Nat Turner, why do you think back in Nat Turner's days, why do you think at the end, one of their punishments, well, now, you know what? We're going to have all the white ministers. They're going to come to all of your black services because we need to see what y'all talking about. Because now that Nat Turner is dead, they're thinking black people are upset. They're angry. Are they going to try that again? Are they going to go and try to come against us again? We need to make sure. So that was one of the punishments, is for them to attend the black services. All right? So now Ramsey says that integration and civil rights movement messed it all up. Now, he didn't say messed it all up. He said something else, but I'm not going to say it on this show. But he said it messed it up. He just felt like it was a failure. He didn't think that integration and the civil rights movement benefited our people. That's what he said. He didn't go any further with that. But then Rodney came back and agreed with him and said that he feels that Malcolm X had it right all along, and that Martin Luther King, bless his heart, said love the man, but he said, I think he missed it. I think Malcolm X was right, and he backed it up and supported that statement by saying, look at what's happening now. So that was kind of what he said about that. And then he also talked about the boycott, and he agreed, that it shows that we can accomplish something. And I think that that's important. Now, Hattie came from a totally different perspective, and we welcome all ideas and concepts and opinions on Mahogany Bronze Hour. It's not going to just be one-sided, because here we like to give two sides to every story. So we welcome any types of opinions, even if it disagrees with mine. But Hattie says that no person came to this earth with instructions. She said that black Americans are the underdog, and not by choice but circumstance. Said we should not be measured by the norm. And she concluded that we should not forget where we came from. So I followed up with that, and I said, you're right. That's exactly the point. I think that we have forgotten, because I think that there's some things that we've accomplished that worked. And I think that we've forgotten that we're strong. I think that we've forgotten that we can unify and really, really make things happen. I think we have forgotten that. I think that forgetting where we came from, I know that sometimes that can be perceived as, it ain't like we had it good. and now, you know, or we had it bad and now we got it good. No, it's one of those things where it's like not forgetting where you came from works both ways is my point. Okay, it works both ways, because you can use it for both ways to be successful. You can forget where you came from and it'll hurt you, or you can forget where you came from and then it'll help you. You know, so it depends on where you're talking about. But I appreciate all of you guys for your opinions. I appreciate that. I told you that I was going to address it here on the Mahogany Bronze Hour. Now let's talk about my opinion. What did I think about the video? Now, I will say this. I agree with everything he said. I agree with everything he said. Now, am I proud that I agree with it? It is what it is. It is what it is. Yes, I do agree with what he said, simply because I agree that people aren't interested unless it's them. It is very difficult to get people to agree to come together and put a rally together and march if it's not my family that got shot down. If it's not my brother or sister that was killed, I'm not interested. It's just when something happens to them, now all of a sudden you want everybody to jump on your side. No, if we're going to do that and we're going to try to stand up and make a difference, because you never know when it will be you. So you have to learn how to come together at all times. So that's one reason why I agree with it. There's no commitment there for us to stand together. So that's why I feel that there's no longevity with anything that we're trying to do. We can go a whole week for a revival. We can go a whole week watching the finals. We can sit at the Foot Locker all night waiting on a shoe to come out. I mean, we have longevity when it comes to those kinds of things. But when it comes to things that really matter, Black Friday, I mean, really banking, I mean, laying out there in sleeping bags waiting just to get a special when it's really not a special. I mean, really. So we gotta check that. Now, this is a thing that gets me. And he made a good point. He said that we have pegged the preacher as being our savior, so to speak. That has become the person that we believe just got our back. You know, that they're going to do whatever. They're going to stand up for us. They're going to talk this. And he said, you know, the preacher is the one leader that can be a leader and not do anything. You know, I didn't say it. He said it. But I kind of agree. I tend to agree with that because, you know, the one thing I noticed in the black church is that we don't have a problem. They won't stand up for you, but they don't have a problem speaking for you. They won't stand up for you, but they're the first to speak for you. Think about it. When Trump went to the black churches, what was the first thing the minister did? He felt like he had to speak on behalf of his congregation. So whether they agreed or disagreed, he's standing up for them. Now, I tell you what, I challenge all these ministers who believe in one way or another way. Throw them a Black Lives Matter t-shirt and ask them to wear it at the rally and see what happens. I'm just saying. You know? But they're so quick to come to the black church. You guys think about that. Why is that? Why is it that you don't see them going to the white church? Why do they come to the black church? What is that? You guys can't let that go. You got to think about it. Okay? And I think I uncovered a little bit of that last week. But it's because they know that religion is the thing, how you get to us. Okay? That's how you get to us. And that's why that happens. So, but anyway, moving right along. But think about it, guys. Who do you think taught them how to treat you? Who do you really think taught them how to treat you? Why do you think that they do come to the black church when it's... I mean, I'm really interested in hearing what you guys have to say. We're going to talk about that next week on Mahogany Bronze Hour. Why is that? Now, this is what I want to leave you guys with about the video. For some reason, we think suffering equals salvation. And it doesn't mean that. I don't think that God, being who he is, would allow his son to die on a cross for us, go through all of that, a man who knew no sin, to die on a cross for us, and then turn around and want us to do the same thing. That was pointless for him to do that. That means that he did not mean for you to suffer. He did not mean for you to think suffering equals salvation. It does not. Okay, so I'm going to free you guys today, those of you that think that you're suffering, that you're doing something for God. He doesn't want you to suffer. He wants you to live and have it more abundantly. Okay, so let's change our mindsets. Remember, a lot of this is all about mindsets. Now, I want to talk about April. I know that she's there. She's watching. Thank you so much for being patient, April. because I want to definitely talk about your story. I want you guys to really, really pay attention to this, because she's in Monroeville, right there with a lot of you guys. I know I have a lot of viewers from Monroeville, and I want you guys to hear her story, because some of you may be going through the same things, or some of you may have had this happen to you, but I just want you to listen, because if it has happened to you, I want to hear about it, because we would love to take this opportunity and use this platform to help you as well. So it's very important that, we each one reach one. So I want to talk about April's story and her husband, Willie. Now, in October 2014 is when April and Willie Tucker's hell really began. But it even started before that. This family, their life changed in 2012 when a young lady that was at their home died. I am not going to go into the particulars of the case simply because of where it is. And I'm not going to do that to her or her family or her husband, because I don't want to do anything that could be used against them in any way whatsoever. So we're going to stick to the civil rights part of it, because that's where they feel that they were violated. They feel as if their civil rights were violated in this case. Now, let's stay with a timeline, because I don't want to lose you guys and I don't want to get too off track. In 2012, he was charged with manslaughter. 2013, he was indicted for murder. See the difference? After it went to a grand jury, he's ended up now it's murder. Now, what happened next is where his civil rights began to be pretty much violated from the very onset of this case. Okay? He was appointed an attorney, a public defender, of course. He was appointed an attorney and a public defender. I mean, some of you call them public pretenders, but I'm not going to say that on this show. I'm just saying what somebody said. But public defender, he was appointed. That public defender's name is Lori Womble, and she is still practicing in Monroeville. So, and I just want to say for the record, for those of you that say, Ella, you didn't get two sides. Well, I reached out to her. And I reached out to her twice. And I explained that I would be speaking about this on my show and that I wanted to get her side of it. She did not respond to me. That is all I'm going to say about that. But she was given the opportunity to address what I'm going to talk about next. So because she didn't, you just get to hear their side. Okay? So I just want to put that out there for those of you that may want to try to inbox me and say that, oh, you didn't tell her side. Why didn't you give her a chance? I know to do that. Broadcasting 101. Got it. All right. So, now, with everything that's starting to happen, this woman, this attorney, she's not even talking to Willie. This man has been charged with murder. You're a public defender. That's what you get paid for. The state pays you to do that. Your job is to treat him just like you would any other client. You're getting paid. Why aren't you going to give him the service you would give anyone else? Well, she didn't. Okay? She never called him. She never gotten in touch with him to go over the case, say what our game plan, our strategy, ask him any questions. She never went to the crime scene. As a matter of fact, they ended up getting a friend. And this is where Reverend King comes in. And I just want to tip my hats off to you, Reverend King. Reverend John King out of Mobile, Alabama. He stepped up to the plate. Now, that's a leader I'm talking about. Willie and April are members of his church. And Willie came to him saying, look, I need you. I need you. I don't know what to do. I don't know what's going on. Can you help? And Willie went to him simply because he knew that Reverend King had been in this industry for quite some time. He was actually a retired police officer for 30 plus years. Okay. So he came in and he actually went to the crime scene, and, he has his opinions about that. We're not going to talk about that tonight because that's not what it's about tonight, because that's going to come later. But he went and did his own investigation for Willie on Willie's behalf. But he also heard Willie's concerns about the fact that the attorney wasn't speaking to him, right? So he's like, look, man, this lady isn't doing anything. I mean, like, come on, what the heck? She's not doing anything. I got to go to trial. And get this. You know how Willie found out that he had a trial, that he actually had a court hearing? In the Monroe Journal. Isn't that something? Are you surprised? But that's how he found out. And he didn't even see it. Someone saw it and told him. Okay? So he shows up for the trial. For the court hearing. He gets there. He has all his witnesses. He has all the people that were subpoenaed. He has all of his evidence. Everything shows up there. And Reverend King was there as well. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky, guys. I need you to pay attention to this. Because This is the type of things that happen when you are just not in the know about certain things, okay? But it doesn't mean that people have to violate your rights just because you don't know. But it happens, okay? But I don't want it to keep happening, because we have to get to a place to where we know exactly what we're facing and how to deal with it. So they show up, and Willie is like, listen, I don't want this lady. She's not doing anything. I haven't even talked to her. We haven't gone over this case, and here we are about to go to a trial or whatever. We haven't even talked. I don't want her on my case. Okay? Reverend King goes to her and says he is not happy with the way you have represented him. He wants to fire you. Willie says to this attorney, Miss Lori Womble, I am not happy with your service. I want to fire you. Okay? Both of them telling her this. And she looks at him and says, you can't fire me. Now, listen, guys. Let's be real here. You all know. Any of you that has ever even walked into a courtroom, you know that's BS, right? You know that if you have a right to trial by jury, you have a right to have what you need to get a fair trial and for your due process to happen. He was denied. The attorney knew he couldn't get rid of her. She knew she had the judge in her pocket. She knew it. So she says, you can't fire me. And guess what? He couldn't fire her. He didn't fire her. He could fire her, but they wouldn't allow him. The judge says, no. Now, this is the trick. I want you guys to really listen to this. Put that water down before you spit it out right now. He had already hired another attorney when they denied him. He says, listen, I'm showing you that I'm serious, that I don't like this lady. I went out and hired my own attorney from Mobile. He didn't hire anyone from Monroe, but he hired an attorney from Mobile. He said, listen, I already got my own attorney. Here's a receipt. I don't want this woman. And they still denied him. And they said, you know what? No, we're getting ready to do jury selection, dude. Sorry. Just like that. This man's life. He's charged with murder, okay? He's charged with murder, and his life is hanging in the balance here. And they're just, sorry, dude, you know, too bad. No, we're going with her. So now that the judge, the attorney knows that her client doesn't like her. He knows that all these people out here don't like her. So guess what they do next? This is what's really weird. She walks over to the bailiff or whomever that was standing at the door of the courtroom, says something to him. Next thing they know, everyone is denied access into the courtroom. Now we're talking about a public hearing. We're talking about a public trial at Monroe County Courthouse, and all of the witnesses, the attorney that he hired, the minister, the wife, the witnesses, all of them were denied access into the courtroom. But let me tell you what did happen in that courtroom. When they got in that courtroom, they looked at Willie and they said, hey, look at here, buddy. This is what the judge told him. Judge Brock. See, Judge Weaver is the presiding judge in Monroe County, but Judge Brock is the one who was hearing the case that day because Weaver had something else to do. Okay? So, Brock is there, and he says, listen here. If I try this case and you're found guilty, I'm going to give you 99 years to life. You got a prior. Let me show you how ignorant they were. They're using a prior that's what? Not even violent. Okay? We're going to give you 99 years to life if you don't take this plea. I'm going to say that again. There are many of you that have been in that position. I feel it. That you have walked in that courtroom and they use scare tactics. They use scare tactics to get you to take a plea. Okay? You realize that when you take a plea, you go to prison. Okay? You realize when you go to prison, they're going to make money off you. So why do you think their job is to try to get so many people to take a plea? They want you to take a plea so they don't have to worry about trying this case. The attorney gets paid for nothing. And now the state gets all this money off of all these imprisoned black men. Okay? So they're in there and they tell him, you know what? It's your choice, buddy. Now, mind you, Willie doesn't have anyone in that courtroom to speak for him. He doesn't have anyone in that courtroom to say, look, buddy, let's go for it. Let's trust God. Go to trial. You didn't do this. They don't even have any evidence. Okay? There's nothing. We know the facts of this case. Now, I'm not going to talk about the facts of the case because that's not what this is about tonight. This is about his civil rights. They denied him access to get his own attorney, even though they were already hired. So he's paid for an attorney and they can't even come in the courtroom. All right? So he takes the plea. Guess what he gets? 20 years. Now, I spoke to Reverend King tonight. And I spoke to him in detail about this case. A lot of things that we're not going to talk about tonight because we're going to gradually fill you in on this case. But I talked to him and he's heartbroken. He is absolutely heartbroken because this was a young man that was doing well. He was coming to church with his family and he got railroaded. These were Reverend King's words. He got railroaded. He said, all we want, Miss Johnson, is justice for him. He didn't get his day in court the way he should have. Now, I will say this, that it has been filed in court, because you can also check this, that he has filed the Rule 32, okay? And I'm not going to go any further about the trial or the case or anything like that, and they're waiting for that. So, this is where we are with this case. His civil rights were violated for several reasons. His civil rights were violated because they denied him access to, they denied him the right to fire his attorney because of her incompetence. He was denied that right. And he had been saying it all along. And the judge cold looked at him and denied it. He was denied his civil rights because they didn't allow the people that could influence his decision in the courtroom. People that can speak and help him to understand what was going on. He didn't have anyone in that courtroom for him. The attorney for him? No, she wasn't for him. She's about the state, okay? Let's just be real. I said it and I don't care if you tell her. She was all about the state. She was all about, it's almost like she was working for them, okay? And let's be real. They all get paid by the same people. You guys do know that, right? So she has a certain obligation. So she's not concerned about him. She's not concerned about his innocence. She's not concerned about his wife. She's not concerned about him going home. She's concerned about winning and helping the state get paid for this man for something that he may or may not have done. That's not the point right now, okay? So he was denied all of this stuff. Who was there to talk and speak up for Willie? Well, I tell you what, he has someone standing up and speaking up for him now. Because his wife, Reverend King, and quite a few family members, they said, you know what, Ella, we're demanding justice right now for him. She said, I spoke in detail with April this week. Several times I've spoken to her and I prayed for her because I heard it in her voice when she reached out to me. She's hurting. She's hurting, guys, and she needs something. She has done everything that she knows to do. She's called attorneys. She's spoken to people. Well, we're going to give her the voice that she needs to push it out there to media mainstream and let them know what's going on in Monroe County. And I know that there's others of you that this has happened to, or people you know that this has happened to. It's time to speak out. And once you have enough of these types of cases coming out, they're going to start making some changes in Monroe County. Okay, they actually stood at the door and did not allow anyone into that courtroom. And this man left. The judge gave him 60 days to get his affairs in order. He is currently serving that sentence right now in a state prison. For what? Do you guys know what the statistics are when it comes to prisons, Black Americans? That 12 to 13% of the American population is African American, okay? That's fact. But they make up 35% of jail inmates and 37% of prison inmates. NAACP believes that we constitute nearly, 1 million of the total 2.2 million that are incarcerated. That's half. Ugh. Are you guys getting this? Should hurt. Something should move inside your flesh right now, okay? Sentencing Project believes that 1 of every 3 Black African males born today can expect to go to prison in his lifetime. That's bad. Expect? That's bad. That's really bad. You guys have to think about something. They'd rather imprison you than empower you. Why do you think? You guys are going to get this thing in a minute. I'm telling you, in the name of Jesus, I speak it. They would rather imprison you than empower you because they know, just like the elephant. See, the elephant was supposed to be great, but the trainer had to train him not to be great. He deprogrammed him. You are not great. I don't care if you're the biggest and largest animal in the jungle. You are not great. You hear me? I know you can knock everything down that comes in your path. You can overcome everything that comes across your path, but you will not. You will submit to my will. That is how they train the elephant. You guys get my point? They'd rather imprison you than empower you. They're teaching us today the same methods they taught the elephant, guys. Wake up. All right? This has happened to you. I want to hear about it. I want to hear about it because they are ready to demand justice. And whatever that means, I'm not going to say on this broadcast just yet what their plan is, but they are ready to demand justice in Monroe County. It's sad. Someone just commented sad. Yes, it is sad. It's sad, but it's supposed to move you guys. It's supposed to move you. That's what movements are for, right? Move. Okay? Let's do it. So I hope that, I wish you the best. April, we're going to continue to talk about it after, every week. But I hope that you will find it in your heart to just be able to keep going, keep doing what you're doing, sweetie, because I'm proud of you that you're able to continue to support your husband and love him the way you have. And I know he appreciates it, and I want you to give him our best. I want to say that, okay, right here on the Mahogany Bronze Hour. But we're going to keep talking about it, all right? So that was her story, guys, and that story belongs to a lot of you, too, that are within the sound of my voice. And if that's you, I want to hear about it, because you know what? It's time out. It's time out for all this injustice in Monroe County, that people are just getting treated any kind of way, and nobody is doing anything. No, it's time to stand up. It's time to stand up. I want you to share this video, because I know it's going to get to the city council. Then it's going to eventually get over to the police, and then it's going to eventually get to the courthouse. Good. Call me. You know my number. Let's roll. Let's do it. Okay? Because it's time out. I stand with you, April. All right? I love you, and I'll definitely be talking to you soon. All right? Now, what we're going to talk about tonight, Mahogany Motivational Moment. It is time for the Mahogany Motivational Moment tonight here on Facebook Live. Now, I told you guys this one was going to be a little different. Okay, the title of the inspirational message tonight is, I refuse to die like a slave. I'm going to let that sink in just for a second. I refuse to die like a slave. I want you guys to stay with me. Get your drink of water. Don't take a bathroom break. You might miss something. This ain't the time. Hold it. All right? But I want to share with you guys, I spent a lot of time this week and, talking with Ronnie, and the brother's bad. I mean, he's just bad. And I just love conversations with him about back in the day and stuff like that. We really feed off of each other. Melvin Boykin is another one too. I mean, these guys are very sharp, and iron sharpens iron. So I enjoy every time that we sit down and talk, but it has motivated me for this night's motivational message. You guys motivated me. Now I want to motivate hundreds, okay? Thousands even. So we're going to talk about it. I refuse to die like a slave. Now, I remember this. I want you guys to understand something. We have problems in the black community. I mean, if you don't believe that, you're asleep, and you've been asleep for years, okay? I just, for one, will talk about it. I'm not going to hide behind and make it things. No, we're having kumbaya moments all the time. We ain't got no kumbaya moments, okay? This is real life. Just a little while ago, we were seeing black men getting gunned down on national television. So let's be real. Don't act like you didn't see it. You guys all saw it. I'm not trying to rehash it. I'm trying to get you guys to realize it hasn't changed. Okay, we thought it was done with until it started getting filmed. Okay, so now we're having an awakening, so we might as well go ahead and fix it while we're awake. Okay, so we all know, white people, white Americans, you see it. Black Americans, you see it. We all have seen it. Okay, so let's get past that part where we act like we don't see it. We all have seen it. Now let's go from here, because at the end of tonight, guys, we got to start healing, and we have to start finding solutions. It's not about just bringing the problems to Mahogany Bronze Hour, but it's about finding solutions as well. Okay? So here we are. To cure our problems, we have to conquer them. But before we can conquer them, we must confront them. We are going to confront them tonight on the Mahogany Bronze Hour. Now, how I'm going to do it is through a story. And I want you guys to pay attention. I'm going to tell you a little story. And at the end, you'll figure this thing out. You got two boys. We're in Alabama. One boy's name's Danny, and the other one is Deshaun. Danny is a white young boy, and Deshaun is the black boy. They live in the same community. They play together every day. They play with the same toys. They're learning the same lessons. They're watching the same TV shows. Just like most people have differences of opinion. But nonetheless, they're growing up together. They don't even know they're different. Okay? But later in life, someone tells them that. That's how those behaviors are learned. You do know that. So they're playing, they're doing everything like kids do. You know, they're getting dirty, getting scraped up knees and everything. They're even eating meals together. Okay? Now, Deshaun's dad sees this and he's like, oh, I'm so glad that you got a good friend, Deshaun. You know, but son, I won't talk to you. Why don't you come over here and they talk to you for a second? And he's like, yeah, Dad, what's up? He said, now listen, son, I know you guys are having fun and everything's good. And right now, you guys are the best of buddies. He said, but I'm going to tell you something. You know, with racial tension that's going on in this country right now, son, that might change one day. Oh, no, Dad. You know, me and Danny are like the best of friends. As a matter of fact, we're going to go to college together. He said I was going to be in his wedding, you know, and we were going to be roommates at college and we're going to just be friends forever. I said, I know, son, and that sounds great. He said, but I don't want you to be disappointed because there will come a time where something will divide you. And he will have to choose. And Deshaun didn't want to hear that because to him, Danny was just amazing. Okay? And he was because they were kids. They were having a ball. Okay? They did everything together. Now, Dad wanted to, one day when Danny came in the house, Deshaun, I'm sorry. When Deshaun came in the house, Dad's like, hey, boy, come over here, let me talk to you. Do you and Danny ever watch shows together sometimes? Do you ever see the riots on television? And does he have an opinion? And Deshaun's like, well, what do you mean, Dad? I don't understand. He said, no, you understand what I'm asking you. Does he ever comment on what he sees on television? And he's like, yeah. Now, remember, Deshaun is very reluctant to tell his dad what's really going on because he doesn't want his dad to keep him from playing with Danny. And Deshaun knows, yeah, we have disagreements all the time. He has some comments about the riots. He does this, but I mean, you know, we're just boys. We're boys, Dad. Everything's good. No, he's good. His people like us. We don't have no problem. They let me eat their dad. We have a good time. This is what Deshaun's telling Dad. So Dad in the back of his mind is like, because, you know, he has his reasons for asking. So, but after a while, Deshaun is starting to notice something about Danny. He's changing. He's not as friendly. He doesn't ask Deshaun to do all the things with him like he did before. He's starting to hang out with his white friends more. He's, you know, acting like he don't see him in the hallway at school. You know, he's changing a little. And Deshaun's noticing it, but he's trying to act like, it's okay. So one day he confronts Danny. He says, hey, man, what's up? Why are you different with me? You know, what's going on? I mean, we used to be boys, and we hardly spend any time together. You know, when you're with your boys, you don't even holler at me. He says, it's them. It's them. They're just crazy. You know, they're not, you know, he shoves it off to Deshaun like, hey, don't worry about it. Me and you still boys. But then Deshaun's like, yeah, but you don't holler at me anymore. So Deshaun, in the back of his mind, walks away, and he's not convinced. He says, something changed. So now he's starting to think about what Dad said. Was Dad right? Is he changing on me? See, what you guys have to understand, Danny, in this story, Danny is happy with Deshaun as long as Deshaun isn't trying to learn what he's learning. Don't go trying to get in the same classes I'm taking. How dare you take advanced classes like me? How dare you try to run for office like me? I don't understand this. What's you know, I'm good with you, but don't be trying to be like me. Don't try to be on my level. You know what Danny even told him? He said, look, man, doggone Deshaun, why you try so hard? Now Danny's changing. He's starting to get all feisty with Deshaun. He's like mad that the boy is excelling, okay? He can't hide it anymore. It's coming out. He's like, look at here, Deshaun. I don't understand this. You're in the race. Why do you need to win it? Ooh, that's deep right there. He says, you got a piece of the pie. Why you need the whole pie? You're in the race. Why you need to cross the finish line first? So now Danny is questioning Deshaun's his mindset, his goals, his before we were gonna go to the same college, buddy. Now all of a sudden, you want me to stay at Hollywood High while you go to UCLA? Like, really? What's going on? All right. Starting to change. See, some of you guys are going to start recognizing some of this stuff in your lives. Yeah, I know these are young boys, but they're adults that are dealing with this kind of stuff. All right? Told the boy he tries too hard. We're going to keep going. See, What you guys don't understand, I like to keep going back to the elephant. I like to keep going back to that. Because, see, the elephant was supposed to be great. Okay? He was supposed to be great, but his training did not dictate that. His training was that, listen, I'm going to give you what I want you to have because I need you to stay dependent on me. I don't ever want you to think you could teach this class, okay, elephant? I'm training you. You don't train me. Now, while I'm giving you this little drink of water, I'm going to keep you chained up because I got to keep you under control. See, it's all about control. They have to always control. That's what the elephant was all about. How are you going to be the largest thing in the jungle and act like a cat? Okay? So, here we are. Now, I want to say something to you guys here. You're either walking in God's will for your life, waiting on God's will to show up in your life, or you're living your life without God's will. You decide. Which one are you? Because you're at one of those levels right now. And I can guarantee you that if you're not living in God's will, it's on you. All right? Some decisions you've made. Now, all of a sudden, this is where the story changes. All of a sudden, a fight breaks out in the community because a white girl got raped. A white girl got raped at the gym, at the school. So now all of the blacks are fighting against the whites. Now, first thing that comes to Deshaun's mind is this what my father was talking about? That one day that Danny is gonna decide he's gonna actually have to pick a side? Is this it? I wonder what Danny thinks about this fight. But Deshaun never gets to him. He never finds out. So now the rumor is everybody knew a white guy did it, but they're gonna put it on a black kid. You know why? Because they just so happen to see a black kid coming out of the gym around the same time it happened. What a coincidence. So they're looking for this black young man. Somebody gave his name up, and they're like, well, that's who we gonna pin this on. We got to put somebody away. A white girl got raped? Oh, yeah, somebody got to go down, buddy. You ain't taking down the white kid. Remember, this is a time when there's a lot of racial tension, okay? So, this is what they have to do. The police got to find somebody. Now, there's strategy. Now, this is where I want you guys to stay with me. All right? Because this is what happens so true, and this is the onset of black on black crime by my story, okay? We have to find somebody in the black community that's needy. We need to find somebody, because we don't know anybody in the black community. We'll never find this kid, especially if the black people come together. We'll never find him because they know he didn't do it. Now, the black people in the community knew the black kid didn't do it, but they knew he was looking for him. But the cop says we got to find somebody that's in sell out, somebody that doesn't have a problem giving his name up. Someone that, they need a little money, just put a little money in their pocket and they'll be happy because they're struggling right now. We need to find somebody that wants their piece of the pie. They don't understand they deserve the whole pie, but just get a piece of the pie. Just give me a little something, something. We need to find somebody like that. And they do. They always do. So they find this one man. Says, yeah, I know him. We want you to find that young man for us, and he has to go to jail. He raped this white girl, and her family's upset, and he's got to go. So he goes and takes the police right to him. Right to him. But he captures him first. And he's laying over the young boy, and the boy's like, man, what are you doing? See, I want you guys to remember something. Let's go back up a little bit here. When they're looking for that black person that's going to turn over that other black person, what they're doing is they're making you feel like you're different. Remember how they did the elephant? They're trying to make you feel like you're different. You're not like the others, okay? You're special. We're going to help you, and we want to see you get out of the hood. We want to see you come up. We just need you to help us find this kid, and we'll talk about what we could do for you later. So that he buys into this. He's like, okay, maybe I am different. I did go to school, so maybe I can end up working at a corporate job just like, other people, and I can get my family up out of here, and we can make it. I turn one in, it ain't gonna kill him. Well, guess what? He tracks him down, and he's over the boy, and he's like, I got you. And the boy looks at him, he says, man, what are you doing? Why are you trying to get me? You know I didn't rape that white woman. How are you gonna do this for them? He said, you think they love you? Think they care about you? They don't care about you. Guess what? They're trying to kill me. Yeah, true enough, they may kill me if they catch me, but they're going to eventually kill you too. It's the plan. It's part of the plan to divide and conquer. Don't you get it? He said, but the plan all along is to kill us both. They don't care about you. Now, I'm going to tell you guys something. Back in the 1800s, and I watched a movie the other day, which gave me the idea for this story. In the 1800s, the slave masters would take some of the, the mandingos, the big guys. They enjoyed this. They would take them and let them fight each other. They would take the strong black man against the strong black man and have them come out fighting. And they got bets, throwing bets on the ground. I bet you he's going to win, bet you he's going to win. And they fight like dogs until someone dies. And they get paid, go on about their day, go home and have dinner like nothing happened. It's the same thing today, guys. It's just different. You kill each other. Eventually, you're going to die too, because if you kill someone and you go to prison, you're going to die in prison. Because death is not just stop breathing. Death is stop being able to produce life. And once you go to prison, they're going to make sure that when you get out, you got no rights, you got nothing. So you're dead too. Remember what the young man told him. It's part of the plan to divide and conquer. They want to split us apart so that they can eventually get us both. So he's laying there on him, and before long, I think that the man is starting to feel bad. This kid's getting to him. He's like, I didn't do this. What are you doing? What is wrong with you? Why would you want to see me go down when you know I didn't do it? I have my whole life ahead of me. And now I'm going to have to go down for something I didn't do, and you're going to help them do it? Well, it's too late. The cops come around the corner and they see him there. They say, we got you now. So guess what? True enough, sadly enough, the young man is sentenced to die. Now, let me tell you what happens when he is captured and they're sentencing him to die and it's his time to go. Before they hang him, because they're going to hang him. Back in the day, they were going to hang him. All right? So before he did that, he says he had some choice words for this man that brought him to justice for the police, for the slave masters. He had some choice words for him. He said, listen, you won't rest another day knowing that my blood is on your hands. The white man didn't kill me. You did. He says, whatever he promised you, you'll never get it. The plan is to kill you too. He said, I may die here, but your death is also near. As a matter of fact, you'll die a worse death than me, because once he has no use for you, he's done with you too. He said, but one thing about me, I will not die like a slave. They hang him, his life is over. Black on black crime happens, guys, because we have believed a lie. We have these carrots dangling that we're all trying to get. I ain't talking about Roger Rabbit carrots. I'm talking about carrots like diamonds, bling bling. This life, this visions of grandeur. And when you put it out there dangling in a group of people, they're going to fight for it. They're going to fight for survival. That's why you have a lot of black on black crime. You got a lot of it because there's a lot of sellouts that take people out. The police we're going to make sure that there's guns in the black community. Because guess what? We ain't going to kill them. They'll do it. When they have a choice and they want to get something, they'll do it themselves. You guys got to think about it. Okay? It's the same thing that was happening in the 1800s. They're fighting black against black. You're fighting black against black. And then until someone dies. Someone dies, someone gets paid. It's the same thing. Wake up out there in Facebook world. Wake up, guys. It's the same thing. They just find a way to perfect it. Prisons, all this private money that went into prisons. Why do you think it's so easy for these public defenders to send these young people to prison? They're getting paid. Why do you think they enjoy when it's black on black crime and someone goes away? They're getting paid. Hello, somebody. So you guys, by having this black on black crime, you're doing the same thing in the 1800s. History is repeating itself. But they're making a whole lot more money. And eventually, you're both going to die anyway. Now, this Mahogany Motivational Moment was not just about race, but I got one more thing to say. Who do you think put the noose around the young man's neck? Danny. Ooh. You guys gonna have to play back. That was deep. That hurt me in my soul. This is a young man that he grew up with all those years. Deshaun, that was his boy. And Dad told him, he's gonna have to make a decision, son. And in the end, he was the one that put the noose around that young man's life. Because see, his heart had changed. He didn't want someone who can make it to outdo him. This kid had promise, and they'd killed him. This was not about race, not about blacks hating whites. That's not what this is about, guys. Because, you know, I have a lot of Caucasian friends that are on Facebook. I have a lot of Caucasian friends, period, that I love you guys. And you know, this is about awareness. Because I know that what this really is about is that you guys have to understand who your oppressor really is. Okay? And I've never said your oppressor was white. I never said it was a black person. But an oppressor is this. This is the definition. If you are comfortable with my oppression, you must be my oppressor. So whoever is comfortable when you're oppressed, that's who your oppressor is. Think about it. Who's comfortable with your oppression in your world? That's who your oppressor is. A lot of you are friends with people like Danny. You're afraid to make a comment on Facebook because you're like, well, I'm not trying to stir things up, Ella. I am not going to stir up. I got white friends. I went to high school with them and they're just my buddies and I don't want them to think that I'm racist. Well, guess what? How many of them have become an outraged white American with all of these black people getting killed? How many of them on their timelines have they said this has got to stop? There are some. I'm talking about your friends, the ones you are so careful around. Well, if you're a Caucasian and you're my friend, then you have to trust that I don't have racism in my body. But I do not believe in injustice. I don't care if it's a white person. I don't care if it's a black person. If injustice is being handed to you, I don't like it. I don't care if you're green. That doesn't matter to me. That's not the point for me. But this story was to teach us and bring awareness to us about black on black crime, and it has to end. If we are ever going to be a people that's going to accomplish Black Lives Matter, if we're ever going to be a people that's going to get to the next level and to be credited and to be credible and to be respected and to have a voice where people want to hear what we have to say, we have to stop killing each other. Because you are no different than they were in the 1800s. Two blacks fighting against each other until someone died and then someone gets paid. The prisons are full of people like Danny and Deshaun. Danny, on the other hand, is the warden. That's it for the Mahogany Bronze Hour. I hope that you guys got something out of this. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. It's Thursday. I know I may have gone over my time a little bit, but you know, that's what happens. Sometimes it's not really the Mahogany Bronze Hour. Sometimes it might be the Mahogany Bronze, however long it takes. So I just want to thank you, April, for sharing your story with me. We are going to continue to talk. I want to thank all of you guys for tuning in tonight. If you missed something, please play it back, share the video, because awareness is very, very important at this day and time. Demand justice, April Tucker. Demand justice, Willie Tucker. We love you. We stand with you. And we're going to talk about the next move, what we're going to do next. But if you are listening to this video and you know that you have experienced something like this in Monroe County with these attorneys or any other attorneys or judges or anybody that you feel that your civil rights were violated, please inbox me and let's talk about it, okay? Let's bring awareness out there because it has to stop. It has to stop. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. I stopped saying thanks to everybody because my phone just stopped moving. I had to do that because, you know, I had to peck, you know, I had to rig it up in a way so it wouldn't keep vibrating because it just was keeping falling. So, but anyway, thank you guys all. I will definitely now when I get off like all of your for coming in. Thank you. I couldn't do this without you. I couldn't do anything without you. I am just very excited. Can you tell I'm very excited? I'm excited about feeding 300 families. For those of you that are not aware of what we're doing for feeding 300 families, we're feeding 300 families. Women at Work International is feeding 300 families for the day before Thanksgiving at the community house in Monroeville, Alabama. I'm wearing my shirt today. On Saturday, they're having a fish fry over across the street from the Texaco. Right before you go into Clausdale. Guys, go out and support the cause. $7. That's it. $7 for a fish plate. You're going to have fish, baked beans, coleslaw, roll, piece of cake, bread, and either water or soda. $7. That's it. So everybody, please go out and support. If you have donations that you would like to give, you can drop it off at that event. Make sure if you're making a monetary donation, give that to Sonia Williams. She is holding the money for this feeding 300 families. She has that. So you guys make sure you give that to her. I know a lot of you have already inboxed me that you're going to donate. So that's the best place to do it. Go ahead and give it to her. Our team's going to be out there. I will not be there this time. I know I said that last week and I showed up in Monroe, but I'm really not going to be there this time because I have to get ready for November. I'm so excited. A lot of things still to do, but thank you guys, team, for all of you that's going to be there Saturday. $7, guys. That's it. $7 for the fish fry on this Saturday, right across the street from Texaco, going into Clausdale. All right. So I love you guys. I hope you have a great rest of the week. Have a wonderful weekend. And I'm looking forward to seeing and hearing about the fish fry on Saturday. Just want to say good night, and I love you all. Good night. Thank you for tuning in to the Mahogany Bronze Hour right here on Facebook Live.